Welcome back to the Donovan and Jorgensen Heating and Cooling Friday Night Rivals pregame show. We are getting you ready for kickoff as the Racine Case Eagles travel to take on the Knights from Oak Creek. So let's break down the Oak Creek team. They are 4-2 overall and 3-1 in the Southeast Conference, with their only conference loss coming to Franklin. We're now joined by the head football coach at Oak Creek High School. He is Joel Paar. And, man, I've known Joel a long time. Other than him being a Racine St. Catherine grad, I like everything about this guy. Coach, how you been?
Outstanding. Very blessed. Lucky to be here. Love our guys. Love what's going on. It's our homecoming week. A lot of excitement around the school. I'm just very blessed to have all the opportunities I have. So things are good, Coach.
Hey, I got to tell you that a former head coach at Oak Creek, Joe Cook, used to say to me, as a basketball coach, why don't you guys take homecoming one week? Go 1 year, you guys take it. And I go, what's the problem? Everybody's happy. He said, try keeping these boys focused during homecoming week. I know that you love all of the pomp and circumstance when it comes to homecoming, Coach, but to keep those kids focused, you get a really good Eagles team versus Racine Case coming in. You got to keep those boys focused.
100%. I mean, homecoming is great. Celebration of all the things in the school. Highlighted by the game on Friday. Hopefully, that's the plan. The keeping the guys on task all week is always a challenge. The more you do it, the more you find that kids are kids. I don't care if it was 20 years ago or today. They're still kids. They all are still driven by the same things that make them excited and make them want to be part of stuff. So, Coach wasn't wrong. You guys can have it.
No, thank you. I was happy not having to do it. Hey, Coach, there's a lot of respect I know that you have for the job that Anton's doing at Racine Case, and I think your conference is really a good conference when there are teams that start nipping at the heels of Oak Creek and Franklin, and Racine Case, Racine Horlick for a couple of years have done a little of that. Indian Trail, Bradford, some other teams. But Case seems to be the hot team right now that people are talking about. And I know that we had a conversation. You have a lot of respect for that coaching staff and the job they're doing.
100%. The energy they put in, is really amazing. They've got kids who want to be a part of their program. Their numbers are as high as they've been in years, and that comes right from the top. Coach Anton works his butt off. He was under Coach Fletcher over at Horlick when they had the same thing kind of going there, and I think he believed he brought a lot of the same recipe, and it's about energy. Those guys in Racine work super hard. I know what they do. They put the time in. Those kids are they're all in for their coaches, and it's as a Racine guy, I'm excited to have good teams down there. We played at Horlick earlier this year. They're back. They're pretty good, man. They give us a real good battle, and they're going to do some things in Division II. This Racine Case team is legit. I mean, big, strong, fast. They're good. They're very good. We're excited to play them because we want to play the best teams, but we respect the heck out of them.
Hey, Coach, when we talk about your team, and did you know coming in, same question I've asked other coaches, did you know coming in that you had a chance to be pretty good?
Yeah. Our plan is, you take the job at Oak Creek, you better be good. You don't have any other option. So we don't allow to go the other way. But in the same breath, we feel we have a pretty good team. I think a lot of teams are finding this. The depth across the state is not what it's been. So, every week is a work. And I'm talking I have good numbers. What some of these programs are doing with the small numbers is pretty impressive. With our numbers, with our returning guys, with the way our seniors who left the program, we felt very comfortable that we should be successful this year. Now it's a matter of just continuing to go forward. We played with Skeagle pretty well. We thought we had them in a good place and let that go. And to be honest, Franklin kicked their butt. I'm not proud of that. We will come back, and we've seen them twice a year, every year it seems like. So, we'll do what we do.
Yeah, and that's a really good team. But, Coach, from the people that I had at that game, they said that, you guys played pretty well with them for a while and let it get away a little bit. And I know I've known you a long time. You would welcome an opportunity to play them again.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, 100%. Get us in the playoffs, we'll play anybody.
Hey, Coach, let's talk about a couple of players on your team that I want to highlight a little bit. I'm going to start with on the offensive line, defensive line. We don't talk about the big boys nearly enough in my world. Kevin Wojciechowski is a kid that I've watched on tape, and boy, I'll tell you what, he does not mind hitting people. He is a big physical kid that'll get after it.
Kevin is, I think, one of the top players in the state. He's a heart and soul of our team. Kevin is our captain. He put in an amazing offseason, more than just working out. He got his grades to a point where he's become a Division I qualifying athlete. He's impressed me on every aspect of his life. I think the world of Kevin Wojciechowski, and he's a special young man.
You know, Coach, it's whenever we talk about players, you very seldom just talk about them on the field. And I love that about you. You talk about what they do in our community. You talk about what they do in the classroom, and the fact that this kid has figured it out and he's now qualified as a Division I athlete. I think what a great testimony for him and his family. Coach, let's go to Max Hoagland, who is a wide receiver, makes some big plays for you guys.
Now, Max Hoagland's been our big play receiver. He's got some big plays. He started off the game against Franklin with a big catch. Max comes from a football family. Grandpa was a coach. Dad is a coach. Max has been coached hard all of his life, from the minute he wakes up in the morning to the minute he goes to bed. Someone's coaching Max Hoagland, and I think that allows him to have confidence when he's on the field. He should, because he's been put through a lot of scenarios and does well. He gives us an over the top as well as across the middle type thing. All three of our receivers, along with Doug Hamilton and Michael Busateri, they're great mixes, and I think they really give us some special things, and a good group of guys.
Hey, Coach, and the kid throwing the ball to those receivers, Blake Furcus, is a kid that I know that in the beginning of the year, I think that this was a little bit new for him, right? I don't know how much he got to play last year, but he's a kid that has really kind of grown into that position.
Yeah, well, so coming into the year, Blake he took over about midseason. In fact, he took the starting job over against Racine Case last year. Blake gives us some opportunities by throwing the ball and passing the ball. He has a very good arm. He understands what our offensive coordinator is trying to do, Coach Hollinger, Coach Hubba. And when he's on the page with him, we get some nice things done that allow us to get those receivers involved, along with our running back, Nate Schaaf. Blake, we also had a true freshman, who was a 13-year-old kid who started the season with us, J.J. Chapman, who's a super talented kid. And Blake impressed me with his maturity, helping that young man get better, as well as he competed for the position. Blake, we started the season as a starter quarterback, and JJ ended up having an injury. So it's all Blake's job anyways, but his maturity, his leadership has been pretty special for this team.
Hey, Coach, really appreciate your time. Looking forward to hanging out on the sidelines with you tonight. I really appreciate it. Other side of the break, we're going to be joined by this week's Current Electric behind-the-scenes superhero of the week. This is the Donovan and Jorgensen Heating and Cooling Friday Night Rivals pregame show only on My 24.